Hey everyone, Mia Lammers of Invoked 101 here, and today I have a super amazing deck profile for you. It is Speedroids, and honestly I love this deck so much. This is actually my first time deck profiling Speedroids, because every other time Nod did it, but this time I was like, please, I love this deck, let me do it, please, and he was like, sure. So I'm super excited to be able to do this deck profile for you guys. Also, really quick, please go into the description down below. We have our Patreon down there. It really does help us in our channel, and it would be an absolute blessing if you guys were to help us out, even just a little. Also down there in the description is our Discord, where you guys can go and chat with us. We talk about way more than just Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're a bunch of nerdy goofs in there. We have a great, wonderful little community, so definitely decide to stop in and say hi sometime. We would love to be able to meet you. Also, really quick, sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. I am getting over a dreadful sickness where at one point I did lose my voice completely. So it is trying to come back a little, and it might be a little fading in, fading out, and I'm super sorry for that. But let's get right into the monster lineup. So first up, pretty standard, we have 3 Speedroid Core Stilts. This card is an amazing extender. It says, when this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Speedroid monster from your hand. During your main phase, except for the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to send 1 wind monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of Horse Stilts once per turn. So this card not only extends on field by allowing you to special summon out another level 4 or lower Speedroid monster, it also banishes itself from the grave to send monsters from your deck into the graveyard so that you have access to them in there. It's honestly one of the best cards. Definitely play it at 3. Another one of our best cards, probably in the top 3, is Tectomberg. If you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can also tribute this card to special summon 1 Speedroid Tuner monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except wind monsters. You can only special summon Speedroid Tectomberg once per turn. This deck is all about synchro summoning, so getting out those tuners as soon as possible definitely helps. The fact that you can search out your tuners is phenomenal, and honestly gives this deck the boost it needs to still be as good as it is today. Speaking of tuners, we have probably the best tuner in the entire game, Speedroid Red-Eyed Dice. When this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 Speedroid monster you control except Speedroid Red-Eyed Dice and declare a level from 1 to 6. It becomes the level until the end of the turn. So this card is really what helps you shoot out your level 7 synchro monsters as soon as possible, such as Clearwing. Honestly, if this card didn't say target a Speedroid monster, it would probably be banned. This card is way too good, but it helps the deck in a way that desperately needs it. Next up, for our second tuner, we have 3 Din Din Daiko. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 Speedroid Tuner monster from your hand or graveyard except Speedroid Din Din Daiko. You can only use the effect of Speedroid Din Din once per turn. So, this card is not only our basic level 3 tuner, which sadly does give you a little bit of struggle whenever you want to get out Chimbara instead of Kendama. Most of the time it's easier to get out Kendama with him, which is a little sad, but this card does help extend your plays graveyard-wise, because as I mentioned earlier in its effect, you can banish itself, get out Red-Eyed Dice, and keep leveling up your synchros until you get to Crystal Wing, which is currently the boss monster of Speedroids. Next up, we have our one of Speedroids. We have 1 Double Yo-Yo. This card, honestly, I have like a love-hate relationship with this card. I love it because it's good, but I hate it because it could be better. When this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 level 3 or lower Speedroid monster in your graveyard, special summon it. And here's where it hurts. It says when this card is normal summoned instead of normal or special summoned. If it says normal or special summoned, this card would be mind-blowing. It'd be so good. When I see it, it does help because it does special summon from the grave, but at the same time, it only does it on normal summon, which eats up your normal summon. So, you know, it's a love-hate relationship with this, but it does give you those really quick synchro summons that you might possibly need in that moment. For our next one of best card in the entire deck, Terratop. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. When this card is no more special summoned, you can add one Speed Droid monster from your deck to your hand, except Speed Droid Terratop. You can only use the effect of Speed Droid Terratop once per turn. So this card is the only card in our deck that special summons itself outside of Tectomberg. In Tectomberg, you need to have cards on field. Terratop is just, if you open it in your hand, you go off, and it's beautiful and it's amazing. Sadly, it's still at 1, but you know what? I kind of understand why, and it's probably going to be at 1 for a long time. Last, we have another tuner, Speed Droid Tri-Eyed Dice. This card can probably be taken out for a second Yo-Yo, or a Regeki, or honestly, for a card that's coming up, Psychic Wielder, you can put in a third version of him. Giving away a little bit of my deck here. But this is just another standard 3 tuner. During your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate the next attack this turn from a monster your opponent controls. This is a quick effect. So yes, it does negate stuff, and it does negate attacks, but honestly, how far is that going to get you? This was really a card that we had in here for Orca Speed Droids because it did something beautiful and amazing in there. However, with the banishment of Summon Sork, Orca Speed Droids is really hard to play and not nearly as consistent as it used to be. So we're back to old-fashioned Speed Droids, which honestly, I don't mind. So that's it for Speed Droid monsters. Next, we have a small Winwitch engine, but we're not using it the way that you think. We have 2 Winwitch Glassbell and 2 Winwitch Snowbell. So the weird thing with this, once again giving away small little parts of upcoming moments of my deck, but you already saw it in the opening frame, is the whole idea behind it is to normal this effect to search this and add this to hand, and then you would activate Speed Lift because you only control 1 tuner monster on the field at that point. So this is just if you open up Winwitches and you don't really open up Terratop or anything else that can really extend your plays. This could be a way to extend them just enough to get you like that Crystal Wing that you really need, that invincible Crystal Wing at least. Wait, I forgot to mention something. If you don't really want to play the Winwitch engine at all, just you hate it, add in these Symphonics. It's simple as that, you know, because the Symphonics basically are just your Brilliant Fusion engine. We're also running 2 Psychic Wielder and 2 Psychic Trackler just for the extra summons and the extended plays, and so on and so on. Next, for spells, we are running 3 of the new Speed Droid Speed Lift. This card is honestly so great, and I didn't expect it to be so great whenever I first opened up a pack and I saw it, because I was like, oh, it's common, it must be, you know, once again, hating on commons. But this card is actually really, really, really good at extending plays, and so definitely try it. You know, give it a little love. We also have 3 Speed Recovery. This card is insane. It's just a Monster Reborn on steroids, honestly, for the deck. And whenever I talk about extending plays, this deck is basically just all extensions. It just extends and extends and extends until you get that board that, you know, you're negating, and just, it's really good. For our next quote-unquote Monster Reborn, we are running 2 Return of the Dragon Lords. This is for Crystal Wing and Clear Wing whenever they're in the grave. Just bring them back out on the field. It's beautiful, it's amazing, it's broken. Whenever you get it to go off, I suggest giving it a try in your deck. We're also running 2 Called by the Graves, 2 Limiter Removal, 1 1-for-1, and 1 Monster Reborn. So that's it for spells. And lastly for traps, 2 Solemn Strike and 1 Solemn Warning. Alright, now on to the extra deck. We're running 2 High Speed Droid Chimbara. This card is honestly so great and so beautiful. Sadly, it's a level 5, so it is a little harder to make in the deck, but it is very much possible. 1 High Speed Droid Kendama. This card is also really good. It's just not as good as Chimbara. We are also running one Black Rose Dragon, and one Phaedon Dragster. Going on to the monsters that I use basically just all the time, we have one Clearwing Fast Dragon. I always underestimate Fast Dragon's effects and his ability, but honestly it's so good, and if you have a copy, definitely put it in the deck. We also have one Clearwing Synchro Dragon, once again for negates and just all power, you know. And two Crystal Wing Synchro Dragons. We used to only have one Crystal Wing in the deck, but I found that two was much needed because you never know what's going to happen. They can always flip your Crystal Wing over and kill it that way. So having a second one in your extra deck is for just in case you need it, and it really has helped in the deck, which is why I'm running two. We are also running one Red Dragon Archfiend and one Mistworm. Mistworm I use all the time whenever it comes to end of the game moments where they have more cards on field than I do and I'm really struggling, and I'm able to get out Mistworm, clear their field, and then just hit them. It's really good, but it's one of those in the moments when you need it cards, so it's definitely not something I'm going to choose to go into over Crystal Wing if I can make Crystal Wing instead. That's it for our synchros. For our XZs, we have one Totem Bird, and that is it. And links, we have one Lanfarincus, one Greatfly, and one Platinum Gadget. Platinum Gadget actually works surprisingly well in this deck. So that is completely it for our deck. I really hope you enjoyed it. Honestly, this deck is always going to be something that's goofy and fun for me. It's probably one of my favorite decks because no matter win or lose with it, nobody gets upset. Like, this is one of those decks where, like, I can completely destroy my opponent and they'll just still have a smile on their face. And I think that's also just because I'm a really nice, like, duelist. I like to have fun when I play. But honestly, I've never seen anyone get upset while playing against Speedroids or playing with Speedroids. They're just such a wholesome deck. They look funny, they're great, they do crazy, outrageous plays that no other deck can do. And if you have never played Speedroids before, I strongly suggest investing in a Speedroid deck, because this is a deck that you're going to love for forever. Yes, Teratops at 1. Yes, maybe someday in the future it'll get banned, but even then, it's still going to be a fun deck to play. So anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this deck profile. If there's any tweaks or changes that you've made to your Speedroid deck that you think would really help out this build, definitely leave them in the comments below. Be sure to check out that description on the way out, and keep building, keep playing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!